On July 17, a massive fire broke out at the Jiuding Department Store in Zigong, Sichuan, trapping many people. Thick smoke quickly engulfed the entire building. Firefighters were slow to arrive and many were trapped inside. The corridors were crowded with people seeking refuge in the smoke, and some were perched on windows from which thick smokes were billowing, with people below shouting, "Don't jump!" In the video, the entire building is shrouded in smoke, looking like a giant chimney spewing black smoke into the sky. From afar, the smoke looks as if it's a dragon rising from hell into the air. Long rescue ladders were seen trying to save people, but they were still far from the crowded floors, their lives hanging by a thread. More tragic scenes from the Jiuding Department Store fire has emerged. The fire inside the building was ferocious, the toxic smoke rolling through, trapping nearly 100 people. According to official reports, the fire started at 6:11 p.m. on July 17 due to construction work and was extinguished by 3 a.m. the next day. 75 people were rescued, with 39 injured and 16 dead. On July 18th, at around 11:40 a.m., flames erupted across the street of Huizhou, Guangdong. Netizens exclaimed, "What are the city management officials doing?" In the video, a gas pipeline leaked caused multiple manholes along the street to spew fire in Huizhou's Huiyang district. Fortunately, there were no explosions or casualties. The incident was caused by road bed drilling that punctured a gas pipe. For the CCP, even the worst events are opportunities for self-promotion. Indifferent to the people's lives, as netizens say, they are good at silencing people rather than solving problems. Despite this, Chinese citizens still manage to share many of these sudden incidents online. On July 28, a fire broke out in a finished goods warehouse in Haiyang County, Zhejiang Province, with thick smoke visible from several kilometers away. According to official reports, there were no casualties or injuries at the scene and no property damage.
Wow, that explosion was so intense.
On July 7, at 11:35 a.m., a fire occurred in a factory in Dongxiang village, Dongguan, affecting an area of about 300 square meters. The fire was brought under control with no casualties. Some people felt unwell and were taken to the hospital for checks, and their conditions were stable. The fire happened at a chemical fiber product company. Witnesses described the factory as quickly engulfed in flames, with thick smoke blotting out the sky. The intense fire and explosions frightened nearby residents. Even in Guangzhou's Xintang across the river, netizens reported a pervasive foul smell and fierce flames. In a China led by the CCP, you'll never truly know what happened. Netizens joke that any boastful numbers are inflated while casualty figures are minimized. On July 3rd, an explosion occurred in Nanyang City, Henan Province, injuring 20 people, including 3 in serious condition. According to a news report, at around 2 p.m. on July 3rd, an explosion was reported at a shop on Changjiang Road, Nanyang City, causing injuries. Fire trucks had arrived on the scene. The explosion caused extensive damage, with debris scattered, injuring several people. Photos taken by nearby residents showed scattered items and damaged vehicles, with windows shattered by the blast. A resident, Mr. Zhang, said the explosion happened at a pepper soup shop they often visited. The area has been cordoned off since the explosion. The Nanyang High-Tech Zone Administrative Committee reported that at 12:47 p.m. on July 3rd, a gas explosion occurred at a shop in Jiaying community, causing 3 serious injuries, 3 moderate injuries, and several minor injuries. The explosion was caused by damage to a gas pipe during water pipe repairs. Another report mentioned that a gas leak in a restaurant might have caused the explosion, although this has yet to be confirmed officially. On the afternoon of June 26, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake struck Lijiang, Yunnan, causing panic among the residents. Videos show people in a state of alarm, with customers in a hair salon rushing outside and store owners running out into the streets. Students also fled to the playground. Some homes developed significant cracks. On June 28 at 12:50 p.m., the Nanjing registered vessel Quanchang 528 collided with the Qingdao registered cargo ship Qingfeng 98 in the Nantong section of the Yangtze River. The Qingfeng 98 capsized and quickly sank. All 6 crew members fell into the water, 4 were rescued and taken to the hospital while 2 are still missing. The Qingfeng 98 was carrying about 930 tons of scrap metal, and the Chengcheng 528 was loaded with approximately 17,000 tons of iron ore. Sources revealed that the Chengcheng 528 suddenly made a sharp right turn, colliding with the Qingfeng 98 on its starboard side. After the accident, the Chengcheng 528 reported a rudder failure to the Nantong Municipal Bureau of Maritime Affairs, suspected to be a stuck right rudder. Netizens speculated, is this a showdown between Xi and Li? Chengcheng collides with Qingfeng. Does this mean Xi steps down, Li steps up? Qingfeng is a nickname for Xi Jinping, while Chengcheng subtly refers to the late former Premier Li Keqiang. Some netizens commented, a perfect prediction, drought in the north, floods in 6 provinces, hell in Beijing, and now Chengcheng collides with Qingfeng, leading to its sinking. This might be a sign of what's to come. Since the start of the year, China has been hit by numerous natural disasters, including ongoing floods affecting half the country, northern droughts, and snow and hail in Beijing in June. These disasters have failed to wake up the leaders or evoke empathy from the president. One netizen remarked, our great president cares more about people abroad. On July 12th, Xi Jinping met with Solomon Islands Prime Minister Jeremiah Manley, announcing a $20 million aid package. The Solomon Islands announced that China would provide its aid to support its government budget, as Beijing aims to strengthen its strategic position in the region. After meeting Xi in Beijing, Manley praised China's transformative presence in one of the world's poorest countries. He also announced that China agreed to fund the expansion of the Solomon Islands' only international airport, a crucial infrastructure project. Since severing diplomatic ties with Taiwan in 2019, the Solomon Islands have become one of Beijing's most active supporters in the South Pacific. In return, China has built a large new stadium in the capital, Honiara, and constructed advanced medical facilities, mobile communication towers, and roads. Manley's office released a statement highlighting the growing relationship between the two countries since forming a bilateral partnership 5 years ago, with China assisting in implementing transformative projects. Traditionally, Australia and the US have provided similar budget support to the Solomon Islands. Former Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare supported Beijing and orchestrated China's rapid expansion in the island nation. He also signed a secret security agreement with China in 2022, raising concerns among Western allies. Although Manley expressed a willingness to engage with Canberra and Washington, he also emphasized a desire to deepen ties with China. Netizens reacted, calling it a typical case of money diplomacy, buying off officials in poor countries. Others criticized the prioritization of foreign aid over domestic disaster relief. One commentator bluntly stated, the whole country is flooded and people are suffering, yet you ignore them and spend taxpayers' money abroad. People are dying and you showed no compassion. On June 28th, Xi Jinping signed the Rural Collective Economic Organization Law. Citizen journalist Zhang Zhang criticized the law on X platform, asking, is this a step backward? Are we inviting mutual harm among the people again? The National People's Congress and its standing committee are utterly useless. Back in the days, under the collective economy in rural China, it is estimated that over 30 to 40 million farmers starved to death. Xi Jinping has not acknowledged this period in public statements. Critics argue that his policies reflect a continuation of practices from the Mao Zedong era, which they claim led to significant loss of life. In preparation for this so-called internal war, Xi Jinping has been laying the groundwork for some time. At a recent military political work conference in Yan'an, besides the official statements published by state media, attendees reported that he also gave an impromptu speech. This speech has circulated through various channels, corroborated by multiple independent sources, and it seems to be a prescient revelation. Its content aligns closely with Xi's actual political maneuvers. In the speech, he admonished the entire CCP. We are in Yan'an today for a military meeting, preparing for internal war. You must realize that we are facing severe economic and political crisis, an internal war. The war has already begun. If we do not respond with war, our party and government will go bankrupt. You've seen the establishment of police tax combat centers nationwide. This is a wartime state, comrades. We will not overcome this crisis if we do not use combat to collect taxes. Just like the Kuomintang blockade, Yan'an back then. Now the US and Western economies are blockading us. We are fighting on two fronts, just like before. Now the police and tax authorities are cooperating to trace back 30 years and reclaim the surplus value from the wealthy. Wasn't agreed that the rich would help the poor? Now we have to confiscate their wealth through combat forcefully. If we don't, how can we survive this crisis? If the police tax collaboration fails to resolve the economic dilemma, we must implement a wartime economy. If necessary, the military must step in. If economic discontent builds up to a critical mass, with mass bankruptcies of individuals, banks, and enterprises, a storm will arise that could threaten our state power. Our country and our party cannot go bankrupt. Although the authenticity of the leaked internal speech attributed to Xi Jinping cannot be verified, it appears to reflect elements of his governance strategy. The speech suggests a focus on addressing internal challenges through stringent measures, indicates a strategy that includes using forceful means to collect tax and reclaim citizens' property. Additionally, the concept of a wartime economy aligns with the economic, political, and military measures Xi has implemented in recent years. Observers suggest that if an economic crisis escalates, it could lead to a significant social unrest and potential violence. The speech acknowledges that during Mao's era, everything could be covered up. All crimes were hidden. The CCP's propaganda is filled with so much misleading information, and even the unprecedented tragedy of millions starving to death was sealed off completely, so much so that young people today still can't believe it, attributing it to natural disasters. However, total censorship is no longer possible. In a crisis, the truth cannot be hidden. Under the CCP rule, the Chinese populace has faced significant restrictions on human rights. Currently, Xi Jinping's administration faces substantial challenges in maintaining credibility both domestically and internationally. There is a notable disparity between state propaganda and the actual conditions within the country. As a result, many Chinese citizens are increasingly skeptical of state media and are seeking alternative sources of information.